accidentally lied last time when I said I'd be more active from now on. But here I am, back again. And this build is one that I mentioned before that I said was really bad quality. But I've actually decided to refilm the video, which took me a while. Because it's probably the biggest thing I've ever built in The Sims other than when I first started, and I'm not particularly good at building anything big. So I've decided to split up the video into two parts. So far I've done the exterior. Haven't done the interior yet. I do have a rough idea of what I want to do. The positive of me refilming it is that I've actually done it in a logical order for once, whereas before I kind of just did the interior and exterior at the same time and kind of just worked as I was going along. Didn't really have any kind of plan. I guess now I've kind of got an idea of what I want it to look like, which is pretty good. Yeah, I've got a lot of plans for videos now, which is good. And I guess the main reason I didn't really make any was because I was just trying to actually enjoy playing The Sims again, because it'd been a little while since I'd played for just fun and played actually with my families rather than just building things. And I think I missed that like kind of playing aspect. I had this family called the Sharp Miller family that I've had for about 5 generations now. So I think I'm gonna I've just put the dad into the army, the military career, is it? I think it's the military career. For Strangerville. And I like to kind of play with all the new things every time there's every time there's a new pack with one of the members of the family. So I'm looking forward to the Tropical Paradise pack. I can't remember what it's called. Is that what it's called? Who knows? I'm really looking forward to mermaids. Probably going to turn one of the Sims into a mermaid because I've got a couple who are vampires at the moment. But I'm kind of getting sick of them being vampires because I hate the first need. They're just constantly needing plasma, and I can't be bothered to do anything about it, so I'm just constantly cheating it, which is not the point. Anyway, so this build is a bachelor pad. It's in the one that's meant to be like Hollywood. That's name I can't remember right now. The one I think I've put on is it the Bailey Moon household lot? I think this is going to be in my save file that I'm making for myself that I'll probably just release as well if anyone was interested in it. It's for a sim I've actually already made called Ryan Kelly. I'm going back and forth about what I want to do with this house because originally I was going to have it as being like a inherited house, and that he inherited it from his rich dad, and I kind of had this little backstory for like his parents, but what I was going to do doesn't really work, or I haven't found a way to make it work yet, because I want it to be like, oh, did the dad kill the mum kind of thing, but I can't really find a way to put it in and make it make sense. I've been trying, but I'm not too sure how to do it, because it's a proper like kind of like bachelor pad kind of house, and then I'm kind of like, well, why would the dad have lived in this? But then I did build it with the plan of having kind of like a couple of rooms. I was thinking he was going to have a sister. I actually only made him and the parents, but I think I might put a sister in, and that he doesn't really talk to her, and she kind of disassociated herself from the family. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do, but I'm not sure where I'm going to go with the parent aspect. This house is based off of 2 pictures I found on Pinterest. It's like the front of the house and the back of the house are based on 2 different ones. And then the layout is something else, which you'll see more of next time, because actually, thinking about it, I haven't quite finished the inside layout. And I also did no landscaping. I did some terrain tools, but I'm not very good at them. So I basically just kind of put it on a hill, because the way that the pictures were set out, I really liked how the terrain was, so I just tried to recreate that. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the landscaping, because landscaping is not one of my expertises. except I have one cottage or two cottages that I did that I really love the landscaping on. And I'm actually, one of the video ideas I'm toying with is doing a little tour of some of the houses that I've built for my save so far, because there's a couple that I'm really proud of, but I have no footage of because it was before I started making videos. And so I'd kind of like to show them. But again, I've got no footage of them. So I guess I was thinking of doing a tour of the things that I've built so far, because there's not that many. There's about three. Um, no, there's more than that, but there's three that I really, really like. And then I think I filmed a few apartments. And then I've got a cottage build to upload, but I need to edit it, and it's in about 5 different parts. It was originally meant to be a grandparent, like kind of small house, and then I realized it was quite a big cottage. Again, based on Pinterest, because I am not original. I'm not very good at like coming up with the ideas, especially for the front of the house. I can kind of work with floor plans, even though I'm not that good at them, because I guess there's something already there to work with. But coming up with the idea in the first place is not my strong point. Hopefully, it's something I'll get better at the more I build. But I built this house intending for it to be like a grandparent's cottage, and then as I was doing it, I realized that it was, well, it's a cottage, not a house, but I realized it was much too big for just like grandparents. So I actually decided to turn it into like a family cottage, and so it's like for a big family, but in like a smallish house, because it's not massive or anything, but it was just bigger than I wanted for the couple that I was thinking in my head. I haven't actually made them, but I just kind of had an idea of what I wanted. So I actually think I might do some tiny homes, because I'm not very good at big builds, and I also have never really done any tiny builds, and I think it might be fun to have a little play around, and then I can make a tiny home maybe for the grandparents that I was thinking of. Um, I was thinking of even doing like a caravan, or just like a little tiny cottage kind of thing on a really small lot, but with a nice garden. Maybe give them pets. Not really too sure yet. I have to wait and see. So that's my plan. Um, yeah, so rebuilding this was a bit of a mission, because I was kind of trying to count the tiles from pictures. So if there's any weird pauses, I did try and edit some of them out, but I probably missed some. So that's why, if there's weird pauses, and also why I keep doing weird things with the floor plan. Also, where I'm not very good with terrain tools, I didn't really realise how they worked in the terms of like, if you leave flooring underneath, it makes them dip down really strangely. I don't know how to explain it, but you can kind of see it in certain parts. I think you might be able to see it in like a corner here by the pool. Um, and then yeah, I have to keep fiddling with it because I keep forgetting what I've done, and then I put everything in like a room in a box, and oh, it's so confusing. I'm just not good at terrain tools, and they really threw me off. I don't know how I did it last time, because I don't remember struggling that much. But then I think the first time I built this house, I spent about 3+ hours on it, and that's still not fully furnished. So I'm actually glad I'm kind of doing it again, because I don't really like how I furnished it the last time, and it was so like all over the place. And then I ended up like changing the color scheme part way through. So I think doing it this way is going to be better, especially since I originally used a lot of Get Famous stuff, because I think it was when Get Famous came out that I started building this, or around not long after it come out. And I actually didn't like the color scheme for it, because there's a shade of gold that they use that I really don't like. It's like orange. And so then I started using the white, but I couldn't really imagine him in white. So I think in the end I ended up using, I can't remember which stuff pack it is, but a lot of items from that stuff pack, and I'm thinking of using those again, because I kind of imagine him being like black and silver. I don't know, I just kind of imagine the Bachelor pad being quite a lot of like black as opposed to white and gold. I feel like that's kind of my like, mansion kind of. I'd love to build a mansion. That's on my to-do list. I don't know when I'll ever do that, but hopefully at some point I will. I've got lots of things on Pinterest that I like look at a lot. I'm not sure how to recreate all of them into The Sims, but I'm willing to try. I mean, this one was a bit of a challenge for me. I think I had to improv little bits of it where I was like, oh, that looks boring. There's still a bit at the front that I think looks a bit boring. And I've been trying to toy with whether I want to turn that front bit into a garage, but then I think it's going to look really, really flat. And that's not really what I'm interested in. So I'm not sure. But I was thinking, I'm not sure what the new world looks like, obviously, because there's not been much out yet. But I think the embargo lifts today, so that'll be interesting to see what people have to say about the new pack. But maybe if there's a place in the world, this could even go there because it's quite a windowy lot. Well, windowy house, so maybe it could look out onto the sea. I'm not really sure how that world's going to work. It was kind of implied you could live there, which I hope is true. And it's not just a holiday world, because I'm kind of sick of just holiday worlds where you can't really live there. Because I'd kind of love my Sims to live there. I always think it's really weird when they, like your Sims get called up by friends. Mostly my Sims dead relatives who are ghosts, call them up and ask them to like, meet them in Selvarad. I still can't say it. In Jungle Adventure World. I don't know why I can't say it. I just always forget as soon as I go to speak it. It slips my mind and I have to sit there and read it to figure it out. Oh, roofing on this one is I like most of the roofing, but there's this bit where there's just this weird little side bit that I had to kind of find a roof to fit there, and that little front bit. I just couldn't figure out what looked okay there. I think in the end I decided on that roof for the front, but in the original build I used the little one that I put on first. I just don't think it worked. I also realised that my walls needed to be taller because of the door I wanted to use, which I think is from Get to Work, and it's really fancy. And I didn't realise it was in Get to Work. It just really looks like a Get Famous kind of door. Um, I guess it's kind of like a classy-ish posh door, whereas like at the front I kind of use a really modern door. I guess I'm kind of blending the two styles, or trying to anyway, but we'll see how successful that is. I kind of liked the idea that this house would have enough room, because it's a massive house, that if I decided, or anyone decided, that they didn't want that sim to be a bachelor sim, that he could have a family there. And as I said, there's like a little bit where there's other bedrooms, not just his. And so I kind of had that backstory with the sister I was thinking of. And then I had a room for a butler, because I really just imagined he had a butler. And he was kind of like a lifelong one that the family's had forever, basically. And he kind of took over like a dad role, I guess. I've been watching a lot of Dynasty, and so I think I was kind of inspired by Anders, because I really love. Maybe I'll make Anders as the butler. I don't know if anyone's watched Dynasty, but it's so dramatic and I love it. But I'm so upset because I was watching it and I didn't realise it was the season finale, and then they just like cliffhanged it, and I'm not prepared to wait this long, and I'm actually tempted to rewatch it. And I love Liz Gillies. I don't know how to say her name either. What I've established is I don't know how to say a lot of things. I never realised till I was recording myself. Which is another thing. It's really weird talking to yourself for 17 and a half minutes or 16 and a half minutes, something like that. Especially when there's someone else in the room and they're sleeping, but still weird. So, another thing is that I've realised I only really seem to do voiceovers when I've not had any sleep. So once again, I've been up all night. So, I went to the gym last night. I've been trying to go to the gym more regularly because I really love it, but I also don't have the motivation to make myself go. So I was going like 5 to 6 times like a few weeks, but then now I'm going to try and go 4 but get 6 sessions in, and it's really fun. I really enjoy it. Hopefully I can keep up with it, and I'm trying to make my other days more active because I spend most of my time at home on a computer, no surprise there, and so I don't really go out very much unless we go out and see our friends. And if that's the case, we go and see them at night usually, and go like to Weatherspoons and sit in there, or go to someone's house, or there's like a pub-ish kind of thing near where I live that we go to a lot. I don't really know what to call it. I guess it is a pub. But yeah, I don't really get out in the day because I don't really like the sun very much. And I live on the coast, and I always say I want to go to the beach every summer. But so far I've been off since April and I've not gone. And I was having a bit of an existential crisis, but we can talk about that another time because I don't think I've got time to go into that. You'll see me kind of go in. Well, you did see me go in and kind of figure out which brick I want. I actually really like the vampire brick. I think it's because it's got like the different colours in it. I was gonna go for like the Get Famous one. It's funny because this was intended to kind of be like a mainly Get Famous build, but in the end, it just didn't end up being that. I also think I need to go back because I've got to savour the old build before I had to rebuild it. And this little bit here is going to be a plant pot, but I took obviously screenshots and pictures and stuff so I could copy it as I was rebuilding this. And I don't really know what like foundation or wallpaper I use for that little brick bit. I can't work it out for the life of me because it just doesn't look the same. It looks like the stripes are in a different direction or something like that. I'm not sure what happened to the wallpaper on this bit as well. At some point I must have removed it because I had to go back in and add it back in. Um, yeah, I've got like the perfect furniture for the outside bit based on the Pinterest thing, but obviously I've got no references to the inside, so I'm just kind of improving that completely. And it's so hard to decorate big things, I've decided, because you just have to fill so much space and it just looks really strange. Whereas like smaller builds, it's really nice to clutter up, I found, but you can't really do that as well with big buildings. And on the second floor especially, there's this just big empty space on this side of the house, and I haven't still decided what I want to do with it. I just haven't no idea what to do with it. Whereas on the rest of it, I've kind of got like a general idea. There's like an office, gym. I've had all those ideas, but I still need to come up with something there. In the original build, I just put one of the bubble blower things over there. I was like, no, can't put that there. But since I didn't end up uploading that, I'm gonna have to come up with a better idea for what to put it. So either I'll film that video for this week and it'll come up as part 2 this week, or beginning of next week. I'm trying to make 2 to 3 videos a week. I'm gonna stick myself to 2 and then 3 if I'm feeling motivated. Also, this bit annoyed me because I wasn't sure whether to put the brick there, but I decided to in the end because the balcony ends and I thought it kind of made sense to put it there. But yeah, I'm going to try and stick to 2 videos a week, hopefully 3. And then if I can stick to that, then maybe I'll go to even more. It's more that I have the time, but it's more that I take a long time to build everything. And so, yeah, I just need to get a bit quicker and then I'll have more time to play around and do the voiceovers because everything takes me quite a while and I have to go in and edit because I always stop. But yeah, we're getting to the end of the build now. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you on the next part of this build, on hopefully the next video if it isn't that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.